Visit tcgcastle.com and get 5% discount on your first purchase with TCG Center 5 code. How's it going, guys? Once again, welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. Today is another day. And yeah, it's another day, but it's another item lock day. So today we'll be looking at Lurantis-GX and Mr. Vileplume with Irritating Pollen in a 7 format. All I can say that this deck is very broken. It's so broken and it's so disgusting that I just don't like it. I don't like it. I made this list and I'm not proud that I actually did that because it's just broken. It's just broken. My Greninja Break cannot play against this, and that's the most importantly. This Pokemon can go for the weakness against Greninja, and when I see it, I start to cry because I really like to play with Greninja, but this is just way too much for Greninja. I mean, you can have turn 1 Lurantis, you can have literally turn 1 2 Lurantis-GX, a Vileplume, a Mr. Japanese Shiinotic on the bench, and you can still have like one Shaymin on the bench, which is not a big deal, but that's just insane. I mean, this deck list is so broken. I played like 15 games in a row, and 14 of these games my opponents just scoop up after my turn 1. Because every time I literally play with this deck, I have 2 Lurantis-GX, I have a Vileplume, I have 5 energies in my disco pile, and I have Shiinotic on my bench, and 1 Shaymin. My opponent simply cannot do nothing. It's just broken. So let's see what this deck actually has. So it have answer almost to everything. So it have item lock ability, which is the first thing. The second thing is that it has that Lurantis-GX with 210 HP with 3 powerful attacks. The first one, Flower Supply for 40, and that's the most broken part of this card. So you can go for 40 and you can attach 2 basic energy cards from your disco pile to your Pokemon in any way you like. So you can attach 2 energies from your disco pile to your another Lurantis-GX, or you can attach 1 energy to your Lurantis-GX, 1 energy to your Pinsir, for example. Then for 3 energies you can use Solar Blade. Literally on your turn 2 you can go with the Solar Blade for 120 and also heal 30 damage from this Pokemon. And he have 210 HP. It's just ridiculous. And then you can use a Color Sight GX for 50 times the number of amount energy attached to Lurantis-GX. So in theory this Pokemon can one-hit knockout everything. It can use Flower Supply for energy acceleration, and it can just strike for 120 with Solar Blade. 120 might not seem like a high amount of the damage, but when we speak about 120 in item lock, it's a lot of damage counters, especially when it can also one-hit knock out something like Greninja and some other Pokemon that is going to be weak on the grass. So that's the reason why I'm running 4-3 of Fomantis and Lurantis. All of these Pokemon you see here are not problem to evolve because we have first a jump plan, so that's it. 2 Shaymins for the setup, 2-2 line of Gloom, Oddish, and Vileplume, and 1-1 line of Morelull. I still have very hard time to pronounce this card. And Mr. Shiinotic just came straight away from the Japan in this game. So it's just insane card. Illuminate, you can search your deck once you return for 1 grass Pokemon, really put it in your hand. It's so dang good. It's so dang good. I see like when Sun Moon was introduced in Japan, and when we didn't still have English cards, I see a lot of people actually try to build this deck with 2 copies of Shiinotic, and I actually decided to go with just 1 because 1 is all you really need, because I'm running 8 balls in total, so I don't need 2 of them, trust me. You just want to have consistency. When you have 2 of them and when you just set up 2 of them in late game, they just does not make any sense. Also, 1 Pinsir in this deck is for that roof fling, because you can flip a coin, and if you get heads, you can put your opponent active Pokemon and all cards attached to that Pokemon into your opponent's hand. Why this card is inside? It's just because I will probably have auto loss against Glaceon EX Crystal Ray. I was thinking also about Jirachi, because Jirachi is a good one. It can help a lot to discard double colors energy from opponent Glaceon, and then I can buy a turn to use my maybe color side GX. But then I just realize it's good, but what will happen if my opponent just attach 3 water energies? I will still have auto loss because I don't have strong basic attacker, and that's the reason why I decided to add 1 Pinsir inside, because Rooflink can just strike for returning to your opponent's hand if you get heads, and that's it. And Glaceon will not be a problem anymore, and then we can just either way retreat if we have Float Stone on the Pinsir, and finish the job with Lurantis-GX. 18 Pokemons, 32 trainer cards, and 10 energies. So from the item line, I decided to go very simply. I decided to go with 2 copies of Acro Bike because it can help me to discard energies and also to accelerate and go through my deck, because we don't have Battle Compressor. With the Battle Compressor, this deck is going to be broken in expanded format, I can see that, that's for sure. 4 copies of Trainers Mails for the best consistency. Then I'm running 2 copies of Level Ball. With the Level Ball, I can just search my deck for any under 90 or 90 HP Pokemon. It's better than the Nest Ball, because Nest Ball can only search a deck for the basic Pokemon put on the bench. So that's the reason why I don't prefer Nest Ball. I go with 4 Ultra Balls and 2 Level Balls and 2 Time Balls. So with the Level Ball I can get my Morelull, Oddish, Gloom, Fomantis. With Time Ball I can flip 2 coins. If I get heads I can pick 2 evolutions, so very broken. I can grab any 2 evolutions that I want. And of course, with 4 copies of Ultra Ball, I can get my Shaymins, I can discard resources like energies in my discard pile, so I can use them with my Lurantis-GX Flower Supply. And yeah, I can also add any Pokemon in my hand that I really want. So 8 balls in total. That's all you really need, trust me. It's just for consistency here. And of course, to Revitalizer. Very good card, because even we have Vileplume, Revitalizer can make a lot of help for this build. So definitely Revitalizer makes a lot of sense. Sometimes we are maybe gonna be in position where we just want to let our opponent knock out our Vileplume, but then we can just easily recycle Vileplume back with Revitalizer. But also Revitalizer can take any 2 grass Pokemon from discard pile, so I really like it. 4 copies of Forest of the Giant Plant, of course. Each player's grass Pokemon can evolve during his or her first turn. That's it. And then 8 supporter cards. 6 of them are going to be drop supporters. Interesting thing that I decided to go with 3 Ents and 3 Sycamores. And of course 2 copies of Lysandres. I'm also thinking about maybe adding the 3rd Lysandre in this deck, because sometimes it's just very broken. More than that, 3 copies of Float Stones. Of course, I want to have as many Float Stones as I can. Even on my Lurantis, of course, 1 is for the Vileplume, no doubt about it, and 1 it will be for that Shiinotic, because he also had the retreat cost. 1 copy of Weakness Policy. Right now, probably a lot of you should ask, why Weakness Policy? Well, it's just to counter Volcanion, because Volcanion can go for the 1-hit knockout. With the Weakness Policy, we might survive a turn or 2, and we can still have a decent chance to play against it, just in case if our opponent managed to set up faster than we. And of course, Baby Volcanion can actually do a lot of problems, striking for 1-hit knockout maybe my Lurantis without any problem. But with Weakness Policy, I can buy maybe a turn or 2 and maybe even win the whole game. So maybe even adding a 2nd Weakness Policy would be just perfect. I also play against Volcanion. I managed to beat Volcanion without problems, of course, when I was first, so that's pretty much it. And of course, 10 res basic energies is all this deck really needs. So this is something like a new Seismitoad EX, but with more damage counters and more flexibility. And I don't know what to say about it. I don't like it. Will I play this in real life? I don't know, maybe, but I don't know. It's just broken. So if you're looking for any of these cards, as usual, you can find them on tcgcastle.com. With TCG Center file code, you can also get 5% discount on your purchase, so make sure to check that. You can find the link in my video description. Hopefully, guys, this deck list will help you a lot to understand how this deck can work, how this deck can be broken, and how this deck can be consistent. So I highly recommend you to import this in TCGO and try to play with it, because it's just sick. And I don't know what else to say about it, but it's just broken. So for today's battles, I prepared just a few of them. and they don't waste. They are not long battles because my opponents just decides to quit very fast, because I was able to have 2 Lurantis-GX, Vileplume, Mr. Japanese, and Shaymin on my bench, and that was pretty much quit turn 2 or 3. So don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you already didn't, to support me. So we'll see you in the game, so hopefully you're gonna enjoy in the rest of the video. So see you in the game. Alright, so starting second with my Oddish in the opening hand, there is Trainers Mail and 2 Float Stones. Gyarados with full retaliation on the other side. Well, okay, Gyarados is a very badass card. Really it is. But already 2 extra cards for me will help me to set up. That is for sure. Who knows what I can top deck. Okay, let's see. Gloom and Vileplume. Well, I can say that's near perfect, because if I can find Revitalizer, I can simply, with Revitalizer, bring them back after I play my Sycamore. Okay, so Team Magma Stadium. Another Trainers Mail. Couple Trainers Mails, so this is gonna be Trainers Mail for that Dieball, and Dieball is gonna be for another Magikarp. Of course, Team Magma Secret Base will add 2 damage counters to Magikarp. I just need somehow get my Lurantis as fast as possible, and of course my Vileplume. So 2 damage counters to Magikarp. Ultra Ball, Piece of Puzzle and Lysandre discarded for Okay, I like to see Shaymin-EX, because at some point of the game, Shaymin-EX will give me the 2 prize cards. Set up for 5. Alright, 3 Magikarps on the bench, that's 210, that's enough for the 1-hit knockout. That's the power of the Magikarp and Gyarados. But there's also a bad thing about it, because I can have my Lurantis-GX turn 1 for 40, which will be enough to knock out his Magikarp. In that situation, my opponent is not allowed to 1-hit knock out my Lurantis-GX. Where on the other side, I can just go for 120 and knock out his Gyarados, because all of his Gyarados will probably have 20 damage from that Team Magma Secret Base. So that was Ultra Ball for another Magikarp, a V-Seeker for Sycamore, of course, and Sycamore for 7. 1 Gyarados discarded. Okay, so that was it. Let's see. First, Trainer's Mail maybe for Ultra Ball. Maybe not. Maybe not, so I can go with my Timer Ball. Nope. So definitely Sycamore for 7. Okay. Trainer's Mail maybe for that stadium. Nope. Acro Bike. Let's see what I can find with my Acro Bike. Lurantis-GX. Yeah, of course I'm gonna get that. Trainer's Mail number 2. Forest of the Giant Plant, of course. Of course. There we go. So right now I can put my Shiinotic on the bench. Then I can illuminate for 1 Fomantis. I'm gonna put my Fomantis on the bench, attach energy, play my Lurantis-GX, set up my Shaymin for 5. All I really need is just Revitalizer, and that's gonna be it. Well, Weakness Policy can be played, because I'm preparing to play another Ultra Ball for another Shaymin-EX. So hopefully I'm gonna be able to put that Vileplume and item lock my opponent, because probably then it's gonna be GG. Nope. Another Lurantis. More than that. Another Ultra Ball, which is gonna be for Gloom, and next turn it's gonna be a Illuminate for Vileplume. At least, right now I can max out my opponent Magikarp with my Flower Supply and attach 2 energies from my discard pile to my Lurantis-GX on the bench. Near perfect opening hand. Only missing supply was a Vileplume. Okay, so another Fomantis. So there is a Gyarados with a full retaliation. There is also a Team Magma Secret Base and a Dieball. And basically, in theory, this Gyarados can go for 210. He can definitely do that. He allows me to get a Vileplume, which is nice.
No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
So there is a Magikarp with the Body Rescue. Lysandre, I don't know, Lysandre to knock on my Gloom. Not sure how smart it would be. He definitely needs to go for the one hit out against my Lurantis. He decided to discard a double Colress energy in order to get that Trainers Mail. Of course, double Colress energy can be recycled. There is a Lucky Helmet. Lucky Helmet and Special Charge, well, makes a lot of sense. 2 double Colress energies are gonna go back into his deck. So, Lurantis full retaliation for 150. That's tons of damage counters, actually. Oh, what a nice top deck. Let's first use a Illuminate, just because we can. More than that, I'm short. I can go just for 100 with my Chlorisite. But I'm thinking about knocking out one of my opponent's Magikarps. Striking for 40 with my Flower Supply. And basically adding 2 energies to my Shaymin, so I can just Sky Return with him. Okay, so right now I played 2 Lysandres, so I'm not gonna be able to Lysandre his bench. Still, full retaliation can go for the one hit knocked against my Lurantis, but overall, I think this is pretty much it, because he cannot play item cards. Of course, Hex Mania can happen. One turn of the Hex Mania can be so devastating for me, but not sure if my opponent will be able to do that. On the other side, my Lurantis-GX is ready for that Solar Blade for 120. Alright, so there we go, Solar Blade for 120. Gyarados is knocked out, and next turn I can even attach 2 energies again from my discard pile onto my actually 1 onto my benched. I hope it's gonna be Lurantis. So another Magikarp and Sycamore, huge Sycamore for 7, so down he goes to 10 cards. Well, with the item lock in play, you simply cannot do too much. And item lock is definitely the most broken thing in Pokemon TCG, I should say that. So another Lurantis for me, and yeah, imagine this. I can simply strike with my Flower Supply for 40, and I can add 1 Grass Energy down to my Lurantis-GX. I could even retreat and Sky Return with my Shaymin, so I can have 2 energies in my discard pile. I can even do that, but simply no Magikarps on the bench, no damage with the Gyarados. I guess that's pretty much all my opponent can do. There's 1 teammate, so with the teammates, in theory, if he can play item cards, he could get something like 2 pieces of puzzles, put 2 Magikarps on the bench, maybe 1 more Body Rescue, Gyarados, and goes for 210. But with Vileplume, he simply can't do that. So full retaliation only for 30, and I'm thinking about using my GX attack right now. No, he's not gonna allow me to do that, so yeah, that was, I wouldn't say very easy game, but as long as you have item lock, your opponent will not be able to do too much. Alright, so would you like to go first? Of course I would like to go first, just because I can set up item lock on my turn 1. So opening hand looks very interesting. Very, very interesting opening hand. There is 1 Level Ball. I have my Fomantis in my opening hand for the active one. Oh, look at this. Fomantis on the other side. Ultra Ball top deck. Let's go with the Force of the Giant Plant. 1 Level Ball. Yes, that's a good one. So, Float Stone, Ultra Ball. It's gonna be for Shaymin, but I'm gonna discard both energies. So 1 Ultra Ball for Shaymin-EX. Set it for 5, just in case if I miss Draw Supporter I can still play my M. I didn't miss my Draw Supporter, so I can go with my Sycamore for 7. Still I need that Vileplume. Still in theory I can do maybe, well, if there was 2 heads, I would be able to put my Vileplume in play. But at least I can have Gloom. Actually, Oddish. So I was short for 1 heads on the coin flip to get my turn 1 a near perfect. But still I don't have Float Stone, so it's better for me, I guess, not to put my Vileplume yet in play. So, next turn, I can have Vileplume for sure, but I will need to think about that. 1 Nest Ball for my opponent, let's see what he can find with it. Okay, so also Fomantis. 2 Fomantis, there is 1 Lily, so he can draw cards till he have 8. Well played, well played. Really like those new supporter cards. Cosmog. Well, this is something like Coughing, but just a Cosmog. Alright, so let's just get 1 Grass Energy to him. Acro Bike all night long. Let's see. Float Stone. That was the card I was looking for. Really, it was. Energy Attachment, 1 Illuminate for that Gloom. Should I risk and discard? Should I risk for 1 more turn of the item cards? Well, I'm gonna risk 1 more turn of the item cards. Maybe not if I can find Ultra Ball or maybe 2 Trainers Mail, so I can just discard unnecessary resources from my hand. I can grab Weakness Policy and I can put it onto my Lurantis. I can play another Trainers Mail just for nothing. I guess I shouldn't do that. Shaymin will be for 2 cards. Ultra Ball, come on. Oh, Vileplume. Okay. It worked definitely. I'm happy. So another Lurantis, and I can go for 40 with my Flower Supply, and I can add 2 energies from my discard pile to my Lurantis-GX. So I decided to take the risk, and at the end I managed to get Vileplume, so I lock my opponent so he cannot play item cards. I have Lurantis-GX SM in the front, so I'm ready for some rock and roll next turn. I can go for 120. His Lysandre will not be effective, so he just decided to quit. Well, that's all you can do, because item lock hurts a lot. Okay, so let's call the heads. Oh, it's a tails, which means my opponent probably will go first. And I see fire on the other side, so this is a red alert. This girl is on fire. Really it is. Teammates and Brock's Grid. What the heck is going on? A fire with the Brock's Grid and teammates? Ah, it's a Typhlosion. Whew. This is gonna be very hard. I mean, if I was first, probably it would be a GG at my turn 1. Since I'm going second, I don't know. Maybe he managed somehow to set up... Oh, look at my opening hand. Look how sick it is. A Level Ball, a Force of the Giant Plant, a Revitalizer. What? That was it? I can smell Rage Quit on the other side. Really. Level Ball for Morelull? I can't simply pronounce that. It's way too hard for me to pronounce the name of this card. Boom! Ultra Ball. Let it be for Gloom. Set up for 5. The card that I like the most is the Weakness Policy, definitely. Definitely it is a Weakness Policy, but look at my hand. This is just gorgeous. This is just gorgeous, and I can even search my deck right now for one more grass Pokemon. It's gonna be another Lurantis, and the next turn I'm gonna search my deck for that Pinsir, because with the Pinsir I can just scoop up my opponent Typhlosion in his hand. Of course I first need to hit heads. So, 40 damage, he's item locked, so no rare candy, no Typhlosion, so he needs that Q-Lava in order to get Typhlosion, but that's gonna take like 2 turns. Yeah, he decides to quit. I simply cannot find a match where my opponent will not quit in under 3 minutes. So let's move to another game. Okay, so this might be a mirror match. I'm starting first. Alright. No basic Pokemon. So let's grab 7 new cards. I'm having a hard time finding the basic Pokemon, so hopefully right now I can find one. And looks like I can. Alright, so Force of the Giant Plant, Level Ball, Ultra Ball, Trainers Mail N. This is just gorgeous. So the same thing is on the other side. I need to be faster than my opponent, that's for sure. So I'm gonna play my Level Ball, but with the Level Ball I can just grab a Fomantis. Unfortunately, I can't grab that Japanese Mr. Not sure how he's called. Something with S. I'm still having a hard time to pronounce those names, but right now I can take one. Shiinotic! It looks like some kind of Medusa or something like that. So there we go. Shiinotic. Illuminate for Oddish. Oddish into Gloom. And Ultra Ball for Shaymin, which is gonna be Ultra Ball for 6. I can even put my Vileplume in hand, but it just does not make any sense right now. I need a couple of Float Stones. So, set up for 6. There we go. Trainers Mail, Trainers Mail, Trainers Mail, be good, be good, be good, be good. Ultra Ball. I'm gonna try one more time with the Ultra Ball. Before I do that, to retreat cost. Another setup. I don't know if my opponent knows that I have Vileplume in my hand. Of course he don't know, but I'm searching for a couple of Float Stones and simply I can't hit a single Float Stone. So that's gonna be Sycamore for 7. Give me the 2 Float Stones. Wow! Wobbuffet! 2 Float Stones. That's just perfect. I'm gonna play right now Revitalizer like a boss. First I'm gonna play Level Ball and I'm gonna grab that Gloom so I can discard next turn with my Sycamore. And Revitalizer for a Vileplume and another Lurantis-GX. I don't know what else my opponent can do. This is GG, literally. It is. So I don't know what to say, but this is just broken. I mean, it's so consistent that it's just out of my mind. So he decides to quit. I simply can't. I'm trying to play like 4 hours in a row and I simply cannot get a person who wouldn't decide to quit in under 5 minutes. The only match I actually managed to record more than 10 minutes was against that Gyarados. But this deck list is so good. In my opinion, might be a little bit better. Weakness Policy is definitely a good card because it helps a lot against that Volcanion. This Mr. Japanese Shiinotic is good. I see a lot of people forcing two copies of them. I don't recommend to run 2 copies. You don't need 2 copies. You just need 1. If it's priced, it's priced. You have Acro Bikes, you have Level Balls, you have Revitalizers, Trainers Mail, Ultra Balls, Nest Balls, Time Balls, whatever you need. Better think about some other matchups like Volcanion. Think about those weakness policies. Think about maybe finding another space for another weakness policy, so you can have 2 weakness policies for that Lurantis against those fire decks. And in my opinion, this is just going to be another broken deck in the standard format. It's going to be definitely a future meta, as long as Vileplume is in the standard format. So I hope you guys enjoy watching this video. Don't forget to hit that like button, share, subscribe, whatever you want to my channel. It's going to help me a lot. So at least I try to do my best finding plays, but yeah, I simply can't. I will do my best on the live stream, so hopefully when I will play this deck on a live stream, you should be able to see more gameplays with it. But so far I simply cannot find a player who would like to play more than a few minutes. I mean, it's pretty much it. When you manage to lock your opponent with the item cards, and you have Lurantis with energy in the front, and another one on the bench, and 5 energies in the discard pile, that's pretty much it. You can't do too much. You can just scoop up and punch your opponent in his face. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoy watching it. We'll see you definitely next time. So that was my Lurantis-GX and Vileplume deck for the standard format. See you next time. Have a nice day and goodbye.